especially when you know you haven't sold nothing and you've done badly on task. Going back into the boardroom is it's an experience. It's very scary, especially when you got Lord Sugar and Karen and Tim opposite you, and it's just like, whoa. And I remember the first time I walked into the boardroom, I don't know, you got told that you was going into the boardroom, but you're not, it's not registering, you know. And when I walked in, it sort of felt so surreal. You know, I've watched the show for years, I've seen these people on TV for years, I've seen the boardroom. Now I'm here, it was like I couldn't believe it, I couldn't work out what was going on. And yeah, it was just a mad experience.
So Dean, it is an honour to have you on the platform. You are the winner of the Apprentice 2025. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on my platform.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me down.
Thank you. So according to the BBC, you set up your thriving air conditioning business, ADL Air Conditioning, during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell us about your journey to becoming an entrepreneur.
So I think I've always just been an entrepreneur, you know. I just think I was born like it. Even when I was a kid, I would, instead of all my mates, I was going out buying football cards and into football. I weren't. I was going to the corner shop to buy the loot. I don't know if you remember the loot. It was an old school paper, which was pretty much like a marketplace on Facebook. I would go and buy the loot, and I was buying Nintendo 64s when they first come out, getting my parents to drive me to the location so I can buy these Nintendo 64s to get the games, and then I was reselling them, and that's how I was making money. And I was only like 12, 13 at the time.
And even like when I was reading your bio, you actually grew up in like a council house.
Yeah.
And can you just tell us a bit about that and how that kind of, you know, impacted you and how that led to you to become who you are?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Dagenham, and Dagenham ain't really a nice place, you know. It's not really a nice place to grow up, but it is what it is, you know. At the time, it was home for me, and I loved it, and I loved the people from Dagenham. And yeah, you just start, I don't know, I've always wheeled and dealed, no matter what it is, you know. If it's a car, a quad bike, whatever it is, I was always wheeling and dealing, always buying and selling, and I think I was just good at it.
And even also, I'd like to just focus more upon you as an entrepreneur. So in the Havering Business Awards, you were nominated for, not even nominated, you won Best Tradesperson.
Yeah. We won the Best Tradesperson of the Year award, which is great, you know, because I don't think there's many like awards for tradespeople, especially like in your local council. So when they nominated us, it was great, and we got a lot of backing from it, a lot of public support, you know, a lot of the community were coming through and voting for us. But it's what we do. We work in that community, you know, so a lot of people know us from where we're from, and yeah, they're the ones that voted for us and got us the win.
Thank you so much. And you know, you are the winner of The Apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Please just tell us a bit about your experience. How did you join The Apprentice? How did you, apply?
Yeah, so believe it or not, that weren't my first time applying. Okay. I applied the year before, and the day on the auditions, I woke up and I was really ill. But I dragged myself to the auditions. I thought, no, I've got to do it. Let's go for it. So I took some Red Bull, I took some tablets, tried to perk myself up, and I got there, done the audition, and I got basically kicked off first round. And the guy there, he was basically saying to me, "You're not giving me nothing." But I was just so ill. So I felt like I knew I had to do it again. I owed it to myself because I didn't give it 100%. So I signed up the year after, and we all know the result.
And what made you apply again?
So I've always watched the show, always been a fan. You know, I've always sat at home watching it thinking, why are they doing this? Why not do that? You know, I've always been a sofa judge. And it got to a point where I thought, you know what, I need to put myself forward and do this. You know, that's the only way to find out, is to actually sign up and see if you can do it. But I'm very like that myself. I always watch stuff and think I can do it. You know, I'll sit at home and watch the Olympics and they're diving off the top board, and I think I can do it. But yeah, so that's what I've done. I signed myself up, and I've always said to my friends and family for years, I'm going to get on that show and I'm going to win it. And I actually did. So yeah, all my friends and family can vouch for me that I did say these things.
And do you think that, your self-belief or manifesting it kind of helped you to win it in the end?
Definitely. I think you have to manifest. You know, you have to. It might sound a bit weird, but you got to visualize it before it happens. You got to make it happen. You know, I'm a very obsessed person. I'm obsessed with what I do. I'm obsessed with air conditioning. That's why we're doing so well. You know, it's a passion of mine, and it's something I am really passionate about, and I just want to just do everything I can to make it happen.
And also, like, thank you so much for just even saying that, because, you know, I see your passion and your drive. So how did you develop your winner's mindset? How did it come about?
Winner's mindset, I think you just got to believe in yourself and trust your gut, you know, because in the situations that we was in the tasks, there's a lot of that. You know, you have to go with your gut, go with what you think, say what you're thinking, because if you don't, and that's another thing about TV, if you don't say it, then no one knows that you thought it, and then someone else will say it, and you'll be like, oh, I should have said that. And that's what I found I regretted a lot of on the show, is I overthought everything, but I didn't say what I was thinking, and I should have done.
That's incredible. And, you know, during your time on The Apprentice, you couldn't actually see your family. You couldn't talk to them while you were filming. I know that you're a very committed family man. How difficult was that for you?
That was the hardest thing ever. Honestly, I didn't realise how hard it would be. And when I signed up to it, they said, look, you're going to be away from your family, you're going to be away from your phone. And to be fair, it sounded like a holiday. I was like, yeah, you know what, sign me up. This sounds great. Sounds like a break. And then the reality of it hit as soon as I was in there, and it was like a week in, and I was really struggling. And I was thinking, wow, well, I don't know if I can do this. It was only the first week. I was speaking to my wife at home. I knew she was struggling. It was taking its toll on the kids, and we're only a week in, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna, like, is it worth it? You know, is it worth putting my family through this struggle for what? You know, I don't know that I'm gonna win. And I actually had the phone call with my wife on one of the weeks where I said to her, like, is it worth it? Do you want me to come home? And it was a real struggle for us all, but she said, no, you got to stay in there. And yeah, she's my number one supporter. You know, she's always had my back. She's always guided me and told me what to do and pushes me to do these like incredible things. So yeah, I think it's really important to have someone like that behind you.
I think that's really powerful, even the support of your wife to help you, you know, survive, you know, being in The Apprentice. I think that one of the most challenging aspects that I've seen on The Apprentice is the boardroom showdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, I always get chills when everyone's in a boardroom with Lord Sugar.
Yeah, it's a very, very scary place to be, especially when you know you haven't sold nothing and you've done badly on task. Going back into the boardroom is it's an experience. It's very scary, especially when you got Lord Sugar and Karen and Tim opposite you, and it's just like, whoa. And I remember the first time I walked into the boardroom, I don't know, you got told that you was going into the boardroom, but you're not. It's not registering. You know, and when I walked in, it sort of felt so surreal. You know, I've watched the show for years. I've seen these people on TV for years. I've seen the boardroom. Now I'm here. It was like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't work out what was going on. And yeah, it was just a mad experience.
So was there ever a time in the boardroom where you thought, this is it?
Yeah, there was a couple of times. I actually thought in the first week, I thought, I'm the only one that hasn't sold. You know, I'm here, I'm a salesman, and I'm not selling. I thought I was definitely under it. And yeah, I just got off to such a bad start, and you're not got anything to back you up. You know, you've only been there a week, you've only done this one task, so you can't say, I've done good before, but I've done bad on this time. It was sort of like you're getting judged on that one task, and I knew I'd done bad. So I got brought back to the boardroom. The whole team got brought back to the boardroom. And I thought, yeah, it's a possibility I could get fired. And also, I think it was week 7, kids' mobile banking app.
Oh yes, I remember that one.
I messed that up a little bit. You know, I made a few mistakes, but I think with the tasks, I was trying to focus on the game and making it as entertaining as possible. You know, I've got 6 to 9 year old kids. I know what my kids play. I play it with them all the time. So I was just trying to make the game as fun as possible, because that was my sort of job as the sub PMs, to go away and create the game and the app. The banking literacy, that just got missed. And the girls was saying you should have more mobile banking literacy on it, and I weren't really listening to what they were saying, to be fair. But yeah, that was a hard task.
I mean, I did enjoy the comment you made that you can't bankrupt kids. I mean, that was brilliant.
I still stand on that today. You know, that's I wouldn't like my kids to be getting bankrupt. I know you got Monopoly, but Monopoly's for like older kids. I think it's like 11 plus. Again, yeah, I still stand on that. I don't agree with that, because it could hit home with some people. Mm-hmm. You know, they've probably seen, there's people out there there's kids out there that have seen their parents get bankrupt, and they've heard this bankrupt word, and it's a bad word. I don't think kids 6 to 9 should be getting bankrupt.
I definitely agree with that one. And is it true that the Boardroom Showdowns take up to 3 hours to film?
Yeah. So the boardrooms are long days. So you go to the boardroom, and then if you win, you get to go on a treat, which is great. But if you lose, your day gets even longer, because you got to go to the cafe. You then got to come back to the boardroom and fight it out, and it's just a whole day. But yeah, it was really long days, whatever day it was, you know, on all tasks. They were long days, long hours. You get woken up, like you don't even know what time it is. You just get waken up in the middle of the night, get 20 minutes to get ready and get out of the room, and it's just go from there. So the days were exhausting, they were long, and yeah, by the end of it I was like physically and mentally drained.
And how did you constantly find the ability to kind of bring energy into every task? Because for some people, after being in a boardroom showdown once, they're not going to be as enthusiastic about the next task. So how did you find that strength within yourself to keep going?
To be fair, the first task, which I lost, and I got dragged back to the boardroom, when I come back to the house, everyone was there waiting, and you know you have to walk through the doors. The house erupted. Like literally everyone went mad when I come home, and that's what gave me the energy to go into the next task, thinking, you know what, I've got to change the way I'm doing this, you know, because that didn't work. I've got to find out what does work for the next task. But yeah, the energy throughout the house was great when I walked back into the room, and that's what, yeah, that really did help me get through the next sort of like task, really.
And I'd also like to ask you, just slightly following on from that one, is what was your favourite task and why? Because you did many tasks over the weeks.
Yeah, there was loads of tasks. To be fair, they was all fun and it was all good. But my favourite was episode 3. Okay. Was the discount buy-in.
Okay.
So I was PM for that.
Yeah.
It's a task I've always wanted to do. You know, whenever I've watched a show before in the past, that's the task for me. Buying and selling. It's what I do. And I put myself forward for PM. Everyone backed me. And we got the win as well. But that was the most fun task, running around getting these items, making yourself look a bit silly at times because you don't know what item you're buying. But no, that was really good fun.
And even following on from that, how has your life changed since winning the Apprentice?
I mean, I'm getting to do cool things like this. I was on Sky News yesterday. I've been doing public speaking, which I've never really done before. You know, I've always sort of struggled with public speaking, so I think it's something that you have to get comfortable doing, because you are doing these things and you're going to need to speak. So yeah, that's new for me. A lot of selfies, a lot of people coming up to me wanting to take photos and talk about the show, which I love. I think is great. It's not really changed that much. You know, the work has got busier, so I've just been focusing on that and just been working my socks off, and so has all my team, to be fair.
And you know, when you won the Apprentice, what did it mean to you and your family when you won it? I saw some of the reels on Instagram of your family celebrate, but what did it actually mean to your friends and your family when you won it?
Yeah, I think it just meant the world to everybody. You know, everyone in that room at that time, they just hit the roof when they found out the news. But yeah, to my kids, you see their reaction. They were crying, I was crying, everyone was crying. It's just, it was so emotional, and this is what I didn't think the show would be like. You know, I'm not an emotional person. This broke down all my barriers, and I was crying every week, you know, and that's not like me at all, which I found strange. But it's dealing with all that. You know, there's a lot of emotions, a lot of pressure, and it was a mental struggle. You know, and to come off it the winner just made it all worthwhile.
I mean, the interesting thing is that even on Twitter, I saw a lot of people rooting for you.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were rooting for me because I think a lot of people can relate to me because I'm just a normal guy. You know, I've worked really hard and I've got to a point where I need help with the business, and that's what I went onto the show for. You know, I went onto the show so Lord Sugar can help me, and that's essentially what's happened. And I think that, just a lot of people can relate to that.
And you also talked about in an interview that sometimes you find it scary is actually with a son. You find it scary when Lord Sugar calls. What have you learned since becoming his business partner?
No, at the start, you know, when you get Lord Sugar pop up on the phone, it's like, whoa, am I going to get fired? You know, but no, it's all good. It's all good. It's just nerves. It's not scared. It's just nerves. You know, you get these nervous feelings when you see Lord Sugar pop up, but it's all good now. We WhatsApp quite regularly, and it's all good. It's all on good terms.
Thank you. And you also mentioned an interview for Times. You recently did an interview for Times, and you talked about, you know, the importance of real estate and having a portfolio to retire on. Do you remember that? Yeah. And why is real estate an important part of your long-term financial strategy?
You can't go wrong, can you? Really, with bricks and mortar, you can't go wrong. Property is definitely needed, and there's a lot of money involved in property. I've always done it as well. So I bought a holiday home a few years ago. We flipped that. We done that up and flipped it. We had a rental property, which we done really well with. So I've always done these things as well. And I think like I'm saying, you're always safe with property. Just invest in your property, and you're going to go a long way. But I'm looking at another holiday home at the moment. So definitely.
In the same interview, you were quoted saying, "Money gives you a certain amount of freedom, but it doesn't necessarily buy you happiness." Can you just elaborate on that? I think that's so important. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So that's really essentially what I'm chasing, freedom. You know, I just want to be able to do what I want when I want. And if I've got to work to a point where I can do that, then I will do it. And it's the same for my family. You know, I don't want them to ever have to worry or anything like that. I want them to be able to just do what they want when they want. If my kids want to go up and they want to travel the world, so be it. You know, if they want to, whatever they want to do, 100% I'll back them. But money doesn't make you happy. It just gives you that freedom to do what you want. And that is what I think is the best thing about money. You know, you can just do what you want.
It's really interesting you say that, because when I interviewed Richard's father, he said exactly the same thing as you. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it gives you freedom to do things you want, because he invests in a lot of businesses. Yeah. So it's really interesting that both you and him are both saying the same thing, and you both also come from more or less similar upbringings, both working class backgrounds. So it's really, really interesting that you're both saying the same thing.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him. That would be good.
So I'd also like to ask you, what are your future plans for ADL air conditioning?
Yeah, the future plans for ADL is just to keep going. You know, at the moment we're mega busy with this heat wave. And we've got more staff, got more vans, more engineers. It's naturally growing, which I think is the best way for a business to grow organically. And that is what essentially what's happened. I know I've had this big boost coming off the show and this massive heat wave, but I've just got to capture what I've got in front of me at the moment, control that, and then just take the next step when it's needed to be taken.
And just to quickly touch on, you know, what you've said about ADL, how much more publicity did you get when you won the Apprentice? How much more did your business grow?
Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of publicity at the moment. Like I said, I was on Sky News yesterday. I don't even think you can pay for that, you know, that sort of advertisement. But I've been on loads of TV shows, Good Morning Britain, every radio under the sun, which is all great for the company. You know, I'm advertising it wherever I go. I'm wearing my hat and my top. You just got to keep plugging it wherever you can.
And the last question I had to ask you is, a lot of people will watch this interview and they're going to be inspired by you because you represent, you know, many people from even my background, for example. Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody that might have fears about going on The Apprentice because they don't know how well they'll do?
Okay. I think just go for it. Like, it is scary. It is hard. It's mentally challenging. So you need to prepare yourself for that. If you're a family man, you're going to struggle. I'm not going to lie, you will struggle. But I think it is one of the best things you will ever do. You know, it's just such a great experience. You're just getting waken up every morning. You don't know where you're going, what you're doing, and it is just a roller coaster. You know, and I think it is. It's a life-changing thing. and it's brilliant. So I would recommend it to anybody. And even if you didn't want to be on the show, sign up and just do the auditions, because you just get a taste of it, and it's great. It's great fun.
Dean, it's been an absolute privilege just to be able to interview you and just talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dean.